10 to 20 days of hiking, hundreds of camping spots, food drops. With so many options to choose from, how should you hike the Larapinta Trail? My name is Matt Brown and this is my recommended itinerary. Before we begin, this is for small groups of 1 to 4 hikers in 1 to 2 tents. It isn't the fastest way to hike this trail, nor the cheapest. If you want that, you should be extremely fit, don't buy food drops and don't buy trail transport, but rather just hitchhike to Red Bank Gorge and walk back to Ellis in 8 to 10 days. This video is for everybody else. The first question to answer is west to east, Mount Sonder to Ellis, or east to west, Ellis to Mount Sonder. I hiked the Larapinta Trail west to east for flexibility reasons, and while I changed my itinerary and arrival time in Ellis Springs multiple times, I now would recommend an east to west direction. Simply put, the trail gets nicer to the west, and you could still change your accommodation and transport from Ormiston Gorge. The second question, food drops. Yes, buy all 3 of them or deposit them yourself to make your hike that much easier. You can also add special meals for the days you pick up your food. Drop your rubbish, get free clothes, leave stinky ones. You get the idea. With that out of the way, let's get started. Day 1, Ellis Springs to Wallaby Gap. 17 to 18 kilometers if you start in Ellis. 6 hours, medium. First nice views of what's to come and generally to warm up your legs. Water, toilet and shelter at Wallaby Gap. There's still 4G reception at Wallaby Gap should you have forgotten something. Day 2, Wallaby Gap to Bond Gap. 18.5 kilometers, 6 hours, medium. But definitely check out Simpsons Gap and refill water for the next 8 kilometers. The evening, the next morning and another 6 kilometers of walking. Camping is not allowed in Bond Gap itself, but you can camp close to the turnoff. Bond Gap is also worth a visit. Continue to a creek bed before Arenga View if you still feel energetic. Day 3, Bond Gap to Lorettas Lookout. 24.5 kilometers, 8 hours, medium. A long day, but by now you should ease into it. It's also mainly flat walking with the exception of the climb up the Chewings Range in the end. Refill water at Mulga Camp and Jay Creek Camp. Both are not very scenic for a stay. Rather continue beyond Lorettas Lookout where you will find 2 to 3 small camping spots before the descent on the other side. If you feel too exhausted, take the low route to Miller's Flat, but you will miss out on the first fantastic views and creeks. No facilities on the range or at Miller's Flat. Day 4, Lorettas Lookout to Brinkley Bluff. 16.5 kilometers, 8.5 hours, very hard. This is where the adventure really begins. The gorges of the Chewings Range are truly amazing, and Brinkley Bluff is my favorite camping spot on the trail. I would recommend lunch at Stanley Chasm and maybe a shower. Make use of your food drop. Check out the chasm on the way in. If you're too exhausted or if you need more time at Stanley, you can either camp there or in the creek just a few kilometers west. This will add an extra day to your trip. But Brinkley Bluff is not suitable in bad weather or high winds. Bring water from Stanley as there's none available till Section 4, Section 5 Junction. Day 5, Brinkley Bluff to Hugh Junction. 18 kilometers, 9.5 hours, very hard. Another hard long day. Leave early after sunrise, get water from Section 4, 5 Junction for the rest of the day and 2 hours tomorrow. The land here is truly wild and will blow your mind. The climb up to the Razorback and the creek bed leading to it will test your fitness. Camp in the sandy riverbed at Hugh Junction. Day 6, Hugh Junction to Upper Hugh Gorge to Ghost Gum Flat. 12 kilometers, 5 hours, hard. Start the day by exploring Upper Hugh Gorge. You can leave most of your things at Hugh Junction. You might even get water from the waterhole in the gorge, but treat it please. Then continue with your pack downstream through stunning Hugh Gorge. Where it leads onto the vast plain, you will find a camp with water, shelter and toilet. Get water and continue to Ghost Gum Flat for another 2 hours. Day 7, Ghost Gum Flat to Ellery Creek. 24 kilometers, 7.5 hours, medium. A long but fairly level day across the Ellis Valley. Take the small detour to Rocky Gully Camp for water and toilet. Ellery Creek isn't my favorite camping spot, but it has a huge swimming hole which is worth the visit. Plus it's the second food drop location. There's no camping allowed before or after for some kilometers. Day 8. Ellery Creek to Serpentine Gorge. 14 kilometers, 5.5 hours, hard. A surprisingly hard day considering that the map seems to indicate flatter walking. Explore Serpentine Gorge and its lookout if you have the energy. There's water, toilet and shelter on each end of the day. Day 9. Serpentine Gorge to Serpentine Chalet Dam. 13.5 kilometers, 5 hours, hard. The trail leads for the first time onto the Heavy Tree Range and to iconic Counts Point, a perfect spot for lunch. There's water, toilet and shelter on each end of the day. Day 10. Serpentine Chalet Dam to Mount Giles Lookout. 16.5 kilometers, 7.5 hours, hard. Take water from the tank at Serpentine Chalet Dam for today and tomorrow. It's a day of long valleys, narrow gorges and a fantastic sheltered camping spot 1.3 kilometers west of Mount Giles Lookout. If you're too exhausted, camp at Waterfall Valley, which will shave off about 2 hours of this hike. Carry 2 days of water in any way. Day 11. Mount Giles Lookout to Ormiston Gorge. 12.5 kilometers, 4.5 hours, medium. Enjoy the sunrise. Then it's nice walking off the Heavy Tree Range and along the contours to Ormiston Gorge. The kiosk closes at 4 p.m. There are good showers and a large swimming hole close by. Day 12. Ormiston Pound. 8.5 kilometers, 3.5 hours, medium. This loop walk is best enjoyed early in the morning, before the day trippers arrive. If you're keen, you could walk off trail along the creek bed to Bowman's Gap. Otherwise, enjoy your day at Ormiston, pick up your food drop and see what the kiosk has to offer. If you're remotely interested in birds, then this is a great spot as well. Day 13. Ormiston Gorge to Hilltop Lookout. 18.5 kilometers, 7 hours, medium. Take water for the first 3.5 hours to Fink River Camp. Refill there for the rest of the day plus 2 hours in the morning. The dry Fink River is impressive, but it gets really scenic once you're back on the range. That's where you will find Hilltop Lookout with grandstand views of Mount Sonder, especially nice at sunrise, the final goal for the Larapinta Trail. Day 14. Hilltop Lookout to Red Bank Gorge. 17 kilometers, 5.5 hours, medium. With your goal in sight, you can enjoy the morning at Hilltop Lookout. Then walk down to Rocky Bar Gap in 2 hours, where you will find water and toilet. Refill for the remaining 3.5 hours to Red Bank Gorge. If you still feel energetic, explore into Red Bank Gorge, which is worth a visit as well. Day 15. Mount Sonder. 16 kilometers, 6 hours return, hard. Certainly worth a visit, and with a light pack, Mount Sonder makes for a great last day. Many hikers head up for sunrise or sunset. By now you will know how cold the night gets, so come prepared. If it's sunrise for you, then you should be able to catch your transport back to Ellis afterwards. If you have a day to spare, I would recommend exploring into Red Bank Gorge. But driving back to Ellis, the incredible distance you have covered will become clear again as hills and creeks zoom by. I hope you enjoyed this itinerary, but try to stay flexible. With so many camping options, you often can decide to walk an hour more or less each day. My recommendation allows you to spend most of the time at what I would consider the most scenic parts of the trail. How did you hike the Larapinta Trail? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, please like, share and subscribe.